What is up, everybody? It's your boy Travis, aka Matsu here, and today I'm going to be bringing you my top 8 Rodan deck profile from the Atlanta Major Regional. I went there this weekend and obviously made a top 8 finish. I had an absolute blast of a time. I got to hang out with all of my friends over at the MGLA and my teammates, and just all the cool people in the community. Huge shout-outs to everybody, and huge shout-outs to Jacob Mashur in Final Round and Rochester and UBS Games for hosting and making the event as good as it possibly could be. You guys did a fantastic job. But anyways, before we actually get into the profile, make sure you guys go like, comment, share, subscribe, check out my Twitch, check out my Patreon where I do coaching for the UBS card game and other card games at the $40 level, where I can give you a 2-hour coaching session every single month, based around your schedule and what you think you need from coaching. It is a track record of being good for the people that I have coached, so take that as you will. Anyways, let's get right into it. So obviously today we have Rodan, 7 hand size, 21 health, enhanced tenacious, remove the top card of your discard pile. This attack gets plus X and minus X speed. X equals the printed block mod of the removed card. Enhanced commit, look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put them back in any order. If you have 4 more attacks in your removed pile, look at the top 4 instead. So basically what we're going to be doing with this style of deck is we are playing a bunch of bad block mods, because all of our block mods are essentially 0 block mods or better, as long as there is a bad one on top of our discard pile. So you'll see like a lot of like Hacker Extraordinaire has a 4 block, Supersonic Flight has a 4 block. We've got a bunch of 3 blocks, and then like our main blocks are like our attacks that are like really good blocks. Like Female Titan Attacks has a 1 block, Rejuve has a 1 block. Because like we don't want to remove attacks anyways, so like they're on top of our discard pile, we just find a way to get rid of them. Which we have plenty of ways to do because we have things like Botan's coaching, incubating, Hacker can get rid of like random momentum that we get from high velocity slice or rejuvenating. Idle work can put stuff on top of our discard pile. Basically a whole lot of things combined. 3 Mikasas, this is for throw hate. Just says, hey, I don't take damage from Colossus Titan attacks. That one was really important this event. Aaron Sidestep, this is one of the most broken defensive tools that we have at the moment. If your character has the Air Tune symbol and you're not playing this card, you should be playing this card, because this card says flip for -2 speed, draw a card, which is crazy. Supersonic Flight, I'm playing Rodan, so obviously I'm going to play 4 copies of Supersonic Flight. That's kind of a no-brainer at this point. It's remove for 4 speed and draw a card. If it's on your board, it is destroy and then remove for 6 speed, 3 damage, and draw a card, which is an insane rate. For incubating, this card's also a mainstay in Rodan. Being able to remove Supersonic Flights from your discard pile that maybe you checked earlier on in the game and you don't have access to anymore is very good to just draw a card and give -1 speed. Also, being able to remove something that you don't want on top of your discard pile, like let's say you have an attack that you don't want to remove to Rodan on top of your discard pile, but you have like a Supersonic Flight below it, or like a 3 block that you want to get to, you can just use this to remove the top and then be like, oh, yep, there we go. For Botan's coaching, this is top of discard pile manipulation and also filters, and it's also a discard outlet for Rejuve, which is very important, and it's a spam. So, you know, things that are just all good. 3 Hackers. Hacker is one of the most important cards in the format right now because everyone's playing assets. If you're not playing vertical maneuvering gear, then you're probably playing like Battle Arena if you're a Smiling Titan player, so on and so forth. And then it also just gets us momentum, which is very centric to our game plan. 2 copies of Exhausted Exclamation. This card honestly did not come up that much this weekend, but when it did come up, it was very good. Like for example, a lot of the Smiling Titan players were playing like Colossus Titan attacks to like rip cards out of your hand and like Ravages. Like having essentially passing the torch in our character is very good. Small segue. I would like to talk about the subathon that I'm doing at the end of this week on Friday. I believe at time of recording it is Friday the 11th. So I will be doing a subathon starting at my normal stream time. The details are still to be finalized, but I will be putting them out as I figure them out. Make sure you guys all come out for that. It would mean a whole lot to me. I really want to grow the stream and kind of make this like the ultimate UVS channel that it can be, because I do love this community, I do love this game, and I think it has a lot of potential to be the best game of all time for card games. So definitely come out and help me realize that if you can. Anyways, continuing on. For Easily Excited, it's one of the best spams that the Void symbol has to offer. It's just free +1 speed once per turn, which is pretty good, and it's a 2 high block. 3 idle work. Idle work, just being able to filter the top card of our discard pile twice, essentially, because we get to pop a foundation, and then when we draw a card, discard a card, we get to put whatever our worst block mod is on top of our discard pile. Petty Squabble. This card, honestly, one of the best cards in the deck, and should probably be a 3 of. Or I should just be playing 4 Petties over Exhausteds. And I think that might be like the real answer, to be honest, because this card is absurd. There are so many people that are playing like multiple copies of their foundations, or that are really good. So like if your opponent has multiple invincible bodies, multiple always cools, immortal shapeshifters, any of that kind of stuff, you just kind of dumpster those cards with this card. This card is insane. And then being able to oh yeah, I go down to 0 cards in hand, and then I just commit Rodan to this effect instead of using my face effect to draw 2 free cards, which is crazy. 3 Fruit of Our Labors. This card was mainly for the deadlock. Being able to remove and discard 2 firepowers from card pool on our opponent's turn after we blocked with them so we could reuse them is also pretty good, but that part didn't really come up that much. 1 Spooky. Spooky was insane all weekend. Every time I had this card on board, my opponent always had to deal with it no matter what. Whether it be like Chimera Kraken or anything along those lines, because this card would literally just say, hey, I'm Rodan, I negate a single attack for free, just by tapping this foundation. 4 Rifle Arm. This card was making sure that we could block the first Smiling Titan attack played in a turn, because commit for -3 speed, Rodan for -4 speed, you have negated the Smiling Titan plus speed and then some. So their move should be pretty easily blockable on a 5 after you've done that. 2 Where's Your Smile Now? This card was the tech option for the risky encounters and the firepower decks. It's actually kind of funny. I did lose a game in Top Cuts because I forgot to Where's Your Smile Now a Koenma's task from my opponent's discard pile to stop them from using the Koenma's form. But it didn't directly lose me the game, because the thing that they searched that they were going to use to kill me with, they failed, but I just could have not been in that situation in the first place, right? Which is important. Knowing that kind of stuff is very important because it means you can learn for the future. 3 Ice Sword Execution, one of the best attacks in the format. Honestly, considered making it a 4 of. This card put in so much work, it was actually insane. The amount of people that just didn't play around this card at all would leave all of their multiple copies of Foundations up instead of committing them to play around it was crazy. And so I would just get maximum gotcha value. Gently Theft. This is the actual best attack in the deck. It's a flash move, so you can't use enhances during it, so you can't Rodan on it, but as it turns out, that doesn't matter when they have a hand or don't have a hand. This card also just says, hey, you have to commit 2 cards to dealing with this. The 1 card that I ripped from your hand, and then the 1 card that you have to use to block it, and you don't get to use any draw power, you don't get to use any of your speed 8 on this. You just have to deal with it. This card was definitely the best card in the deck by far, and if they ever went to deadlock, they just the game was just over. They just exploded if I drew multiple of these in deadlock, or even one of them most of the time. Like, ripping 3 cards out of your hand or ripping 2 and take 8 is, like, insane. For rejuvenating, this is my favorite card in the game by far. This card does so much. It being a 1 mid block that draws you 2 cards and gains 2 health, and then also has a relevant, like, oh yeah, I get a momentum for my vertical maneuvering gear if I have a Botan's coaching or any other way to discard. Which is insane. Like, being able to pump this card representing 2 momentum for vertical gear was just so insane the entire week, I think. Tri-Gravity Beam. This card's actually the best attack in the deck. And it's so tragic that I, like, almost didn't see it the entire weekend. So, like, the amount of times that I saw this card compared to any other attack in my deck was just so absurdly low. But when I did see it, my opponent just exploded. Because, like, this is just a base 7 damage move in our character, plus any amount of firepowers, plus we get a look at their hand, you know? 1 female Titan attacks. So this was my kind of tech option as like a 21st attack in the deck because I wanted to play 21 attacks, but I wanted it to feel like I was playing 20 attacks. So like playing essentially what is an action because it's a 4-check, but it's still a brick in my opener is like fine. But this card also just draws a card, and then like on the backside, you get to use it to loop rejuvenating smashes by picking them up from your discard pile as a form, which is just insane. And then it also can just commit for 2 speed, which is really good. High velocity slice. This card also represents possibly 2 momentum, which for vertical maneuvering gear. And like you'll see a lot of these cards, a lot of the cards in my deck are just like 10 of my attacks are just representing 2 momentum for vertical gear. So like Rapid Speed Slash also represents 2 momentum for vert gear, or it represents a card plus a momentum for vert gear, which is also good. And then the best card in the deck, card that should probably not exist. It's honestly, it is a tie between vertical maneuvering equipment and combined firepower. I think those cards are extremely not healthy for the game, and probably just like, I think they are an example of toxic both like defense and offense, because there were a lot of times where I just built 4 vertical gear and was like, hey, if you ever don't have the ability to block something, it's for over half your life total, probably, because of these vert gears and the firepowers in my discard pile. And like, I get to decide that as the Rodan player when I say, oh yeah, you don't get to block this. Like, this is something you don't get to block, and then I'm gonna shove all the damage on it and you will explode. For combined firepower, this card is a little strong, to say the least. Being able to block with it from your discard pile whenever you Rodan, and then also it not counting towards progressive difficulty at all is insane as well. Like this card just does so much. It does literally everything. It plays offense, it plays defense, it sets up your discard pile for your character. Honestly, I just not ask for more, to be real with you. You could not ask for more of this card. It could not do any more than it already does. 3 Barrier Shield. Barrier Shield is the best action in the format right now, I think. So like, best defensive action in the format, I guess I should say. Because Combined Firepower, I think overall is better as a card, but Barrier Shield certainly does say, hey, I'm not dying on turn 2, which I think is pretty important. Or even like, it says I'm just not like put in a position to lose the game on turn 2. And instead kind of flips that question on the head and tells your opponent like, oh yeah, there's a chance you're in a position to lose the game on this turn. Onto the sideboard. So sideboards were more like packages. So like if I played against Smiling, I brought in Genkai's Guidance, Barrier Shield, Spooky, and that was it. And then against the Mirror, I would bring in Disarming Glance, Genkai's, and the Hacker. Like if I was playing against the VME deck, I would bring in Hacker, Disarming Glance, Genkai's, The things that like didn't see a lot of use were saving Bakugo saw almost no use because I didn't play against Ryukyu, I didn't play against Byakko, I didn't play against any of the characters really that are trying to like flip your stuff, but I think this card was important to have in case that was a thing that happened. Anyways, thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out my teammates who I might link in the description if I can find the channels, and all that cool stuff. Oh, and before I forget, make sure you guys come check out the subathon this Friday, starting at 5 Central. I will see you there, please. Anyways, have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. This has been Travis, aka Matsu, signing out. Stay classy, everybody.
What is up, Matsu Nation? Thank you for watching till the end of the video. If you enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe. And check out all my socials and my Patreon. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and sayonara.